In this lesson, you'll be able to narrate the creation story according to Kojiki, explain the importance of the Kojiki creation story for Japanese people, interpret in a creative manner of Kojiki creation story, and present a brief historical background of Shinto.
Origins and growth of Shinto. For a majority of Japanese, there are only one indigenous religious tradition in their country, and that is Shinto. To speak about Shinto as a religion is to make a clear statement that is entirely of Japanese origin. Shinto shares similarities with other Eastern religions such as Buddhism, Taoism, and Confucianism. Shinto and Judaism share similar features in terms of orientation and character. Shinto and Judaism are known to be of ethnic in nature. In the same way that Judaism is associated with the Jewish people, Shinto is likewise an ethnic or folk religion associated exclusively with the Japanese people. Shinto can also be like Judaism such that it's not missionary religion, it does not seek convert people.
Those who are called Shinto are those who are born Japanese. One becomes a member of Shinto through blood and not by means of proselytizing, the mean that once a person is born Japanese, he or she automatically is a Shinto. The irony is that although the Japanese do not mind being born Shinto, majority of them deny their membership on the Shinto religion. Given the situation, only 30% of the Japanese claim that they are Shinto. This percentage may have been caused by the changing religious orientation of the Japanese and at the same time due to the introduction of the other religions in the country.
Before the Second World War broke, every loyal Japanese citizen was practicing Shinto. But during and after the war, the Japanese started to exclude themselves from any affiliation with Shinto. While majority of the Japanese claim that they are not affiliated with Shinto, they still observe and perform practices that are Shinto in character. The reason behind this is that Shinto religion has become part of Japanese culture that anyone can practice the Shinto way. This means that 90% of the Japanese population, at least 127 million, is still involved in Shinto ritual practice every year. Japanese people practice Shinto rituals not to fulfill a religious obligation, but to fulfill an obligation that will nurture and preserve their own culture.
The Japanese people, except for a few, which is about 10% of the population, do not feel comfortable to be labeled religious. This is because for them, being religious implies a certain religion or dogma. They do not want to be branded as dogmatic, so they avoid to be called religious in that sense. Moreover, they feel uncomfortable with the connotation that is carried being religious. However, paradoxical, it may say that Japanese people are the religious in a sense that they are committed to their cultural practices, which includes going to Shinto shrine in Buddhist temples and observing religious activities throughout the year. Other than being an ethnic in indigenous religion, Shinto is also described as action-centered religion compared to the other religions such as Semitic religions, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, which have set of defined doctrines. Shinto has no definite doctrines, set of beliefs, or articles of faith to follow. It is a religion not founded on a set of propositional beliefs but rather on action. Action here implies rituals and festivals. Being Shinto is not matter of personal choice or deliberate decision one has to make. Instead, it is something different. Essentially, being Shinto is being Japanese, while other religions seek to withdraw people from the world because of its sinful state. Shinto seeks to shape proper relationships with the sacred from birth to death. Like Hinduism, Shinto has no historical founder. Its beginning lie deep in the prehistoric practices of the Japanese people. One is the Shinto by birth, therefore there is no need of rituals of conversion of membership. In contrast to Christianity and other Western religions, Shinto has no sacred canon or scripture where one can be based his or her religious conduct. However, Shinto has sacred books, unlike Buddhism and Hinduism. Shinto has no moral teachings codified in a text. It has instead a moral system embedded in its ritual.
The adjectival description of the kami clearly makes our understanding of ancestral worship clear. In a sense, the Japanese pay tribute to their ancestor because they believe that their ancestor will become the kami. And since the ancestor will become the kami, it is not difficult for the Japanese to find solace and comfort that their ancestor may help them as well in their encounters. Ancestor worship has a dual purpose. One is to continue paying reverence, obedience, and respect to the dead ones. Second, while one pays tribute and worship to the kami and ancestors, petition through sacrifice or offering of gifts and prayers are asked from their ancestors so that interventions are obtained immediately. Take, for example, this teaching from Shinto.
Another quality of kami is power. In Chinese, the term is ki, which means breath, power, and energy. Furthermore, the Chinese understood ki as something that has to do with vitality or the power of the physical body to regulate its organs or functions. Hence, ki means force or power, which is one of the qualities of being kami. However, there is more to ki or than power. The ki can be experienced directly by at least some, like the shamans and priests, if not by anyone. For instance, in the ceremony called Uharai no Kutuba, the shamans had the power to call the kami to the place of worship. Another ritual called jikishi was intended for renewal of life power. This was done for spiritual renewal and physical healing. And other rituals used the power of chants or narito and prayers to dissipate misfortunes using their powers, united with the power of kami. In this sense, a ritual without the kami ki was considered futile. Another quality of the kami is purity, or it called harai. Purification is required during the uharai no kutuba before one worships the kami. The kami themselves are believed to be pure, so one has to be purified before presenting himself or herself to the kami. The opposite of harai is chume, meaning pollution. This pollution is physical according to the Jukojoki and Nihonshoki text. However, the term developed new notions that include psychological and spiritual pollution. These new meanings are far more important than the old physical notion of pollution. However, the physical notion of pollution remained part of Shinto practice. The misugi is considered very important and the most powerful ritual of purification. The ritual involves standing under a waterfall, imitating the kami way of purification. The misugi symbolizes the spiritual purification in Shinto.
Basic techniques of Shinto: ancestor worship and kami. The term kami denotes two important descriptive meanings. First, it is used as a noun, which is translated means divine beings or God. Second, it is used as an adjective which points to religious qualities such as divine, sacred, and holy. The first meaning would lead to conception of kami having anthropomorphic human-like attributes, while the second meaning leads to the conception of kami not as being but as power of force that can be found anywhere, say in nature. With these views in mind, one will wonder how to resolve the vagueness that the term implies. The concept of kami may be difficult to grasp because of problem in translation to English and because of its difference with Western culture. In Shinto, ritual practice are efficacious way of showing respect, praise, reverence, and trust to the deities. In this level of understanding the kami, the term is being used in its first sense. Why do the Japanese worship their dead ancestors? Japanese people believe that their dead ancestors joined the kami and hence are worthy of their worship. This view is the most probably influenced by the spread of Confucianism and Taoism in Japan. The Japanese equivalent of the word divine is Kanagara. The term refers to nature, the sum total of all things as it acts divinely. In this sense, nature is considered the kami as well. Shinto is also about finding the way in nature. Another meaning of the Japanese kamagura, something to do with universal or cosmic order. Wa. The term gives birth to a vision of a unified universe known as the way of nature itself. 2007, PEW Research Center survey Shinto concentration around the globe reached a total of 2,797,700. Almost 90% or 2,729,000 are in Asia, while about 61,200 are in the North America. Today, Shinto remains the steadfast despite the gradual conversion of its adherents to the other religions. However, as long as there are millions of Japanese throughout the world, Shinto will remain alive and energized with the advent of high technology and globalization. Religions like Shinto want to find ways to address the demands and challenges presented to them by the world at present. Shinto as both a cultural artifact and the religious worldview will address the problems concerning maritime disputes, imperialism, and economic exploitation. For instance, Shinto recognizes the respect those whose claims in maritime disputes are legitimate, valid, and legal. Meanwhile, Japan has already gained wisdom from their imperialist past. Shinto neither tolerates subjugation, oppression, and alienation of people, nor the exploitation of natural resources, as these are parts of the natural world. As Japanese popular culture gets more highly commercialized and materialistic, Shinto will have to find its way to clearly provide a program as a response to these challenges. Furthermore, given the enigmatic nature and action centered spiritually, will Shinto find a way to remain relevant and invulnerable from Western influence? Western scholars view Shinto as simply an ethnic or local religion and is thus unworthy of the name as a world religion. Backed by Western categories and theorization, these scholars have clearly misjudged Shinto as a mere local religion. In recent years, however, there are groups of people outside Japan who have tried to advance new claims that Shinto should be studied thoroughly to see that is at par with world religion in the West. Some scholar on the other.
These are the sacred word. Kami means divinity or divine, sacred, holy, or issue of theism, polytheism, and anitheism. Kanagara, it means holiness and wholeness of nature, or issue of anism and pantheism. Ki, it means awesome power of kami-ness, or issue of what is reality. Harai, it means purity, purification, or issue of effectiveness, salvation, attainment, or enlightenment. Wa, it means the harmony or peacefulness of the nature, or it issue of personhood and social order. Tinyu, it means the sacredness of concentrated in the person of the ruler or imperior, or issue of divine or sacred rule.
As a place of worship, it is believed that the kami descended and stayed in shrines to receive people's offerings and praise. after which they return to their origin. Although quite vague, what is important in Shinto is not speculation but practice. Shinto prefers effective ritual and simple religious experiences rather than conjectures and speculations on mysterious deities or spirits. In Shinto, speculation about the place of origin of the kami is ignored.
Sitarian Shinto or Kyoha Shinto. The Sitarian Shinto is also called Religion Shinto. It includes the 13 groups which were thought as chosen one to purify Shinto, and the Japanese people, they remain separated from a national faith movement for various reasons. They also wanted to restore pure worship of the kami. Shamanic Shinto or Minkan Shinto. This form of Shinto expression deals with shamans, spirit phenomena, and faith healing. Shamanic Shinto reflect the oldest form of indigenous religion of Japan. Its origin can be traced back to the time before kami were housed in shrines. Dual Shinto or Kyobo Shinto. There are two kinds of Shinto under the category. The first called is Kyoba Shinto, a mixture of Buddhism and Shinto in which the Buddhas were identified with the kami. The integration and assimilation of two forms of religions were encouraged during the Shogunate period in the 1600. The second kind is called the philosophical Shinto as it interested the speculative thinking and conjectures. Aside from Buddhism, other religions such as Confucianism, Taoism, and Christianity were assimilated to Shinto, and the merging of ideas and religious beliefs resulted to Shintoism. Shinto or Kami no Michi as one tradition. The Japanese term of Shinto has corresponding Chinese character Shin and Dao. This can be read Japanese as Kumi no Michi, which means the way of the kami. It implies divine worship of deities. Kami in Japanese can be taken as both singular and plural. It refers to countless Japanese deities including the sun goddess Amitras, from whom the imperial family was said to have been descended. Kami can also be an attribute to the great souls of warriors, poets, and leaders, ancestral divinities of clans or Yuji, spirits of the places of the great natural beauty such as wood, springs, trees, rock, and mountain, and the other abstract forces of natures like fertility, production, and growth. The deities are worshipped in shrines or jinsha, where the scared object or goshinatai are housed onto which the kami are said to descend. Unlike other religions, Shinto has the diverse form. There are at least six main form, namely Imperial Shinto, National or State Shinto, Shrine Shinto, Sectarian Shinto, Folk or Shamanti Shinto, and Dual Shinto. Shinto or Koshitsu Shinto. The Imperial Shinto is divided in two types. The first kind has survived until this day in the form of special Shinto practice at the three shrines found at the grounds at the Imperial Palace. These shrines are used during the imperial funerals, weddings, and other secret rituals. The public can get glimpse of these activities. The other kind of political character wherein religions and politics are one. There is no separation between the two Japanese culture. The emperor used to be considered divine. His divinity implies the rule of high priest for the entire nation. But after World War II, these types of imperial Shinto was dissolved because of its obvious tension and overlapping with the state of Shinto. Shinto or Koka Shinto. The state Shinto is also known as the national faith of Japan. This is form Shinto was caused by religious and political motives. The shoguns or military commander, as of the feudal period of 1185 to 1868, had led the integration of Shinto with the Buddhism. This led on almost total destructions of Shinto. In 1869, Shinto became the state religion but is eventually refined as purely Japanese patriotism. State Shinto was associated with supranationalism, imperialism, and militarism. In 1946, the Shinto districtive outlawed the state of Shinto. Shinto. The shrine Shinto is one of the oldest form of Shinto expression. It begins can be traced way back before Japanese written history. Two of the oldest shrine in the Japan are Ise Grand Shrine and Shubaki Grand Shrine, which are over 2,000 years old. Some other Shinto shrine have existed for at least 1,500 years. The shrine do not house the kami but are the Go Shintai or the symbols of the kami.